As a husband of 46 years and an author of nearly 50 books about marriage, parenting, and countless other topics, Dr. Kevin Leman is here with us today to give advice on how to understand your partner better. Welcome, Dr. Leman. How are you?
My pleasure.
Just talking to you offset, you've got so much that I want to hear and that I want to communicate. We don't have that time.
No, we don't. We have 8 minutes.
I don't know how we're going to pull this off. You know where we're going to begin? I'm going to stop talking.
Well, 46 years married. I mean, you got to give me some credit.
Some.
Now, are those in chronological order, those years?
Yeah.
See, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, I've gone to Walgreens, bought a box of those little suckers. I've done it all. Picked up vomit, diarrhea, have 5 kids. Those are my credentials. But what you have to understand was when 2 people marry, it's at least 6 people getting married. You say, well, where are you getting the 6th from, Leman? Well, you marry your in-laws. And you either pay for what happened in that family, or you reap the benefit of what happened in that family, particularly between dad and daughter and mother and son. Those are the key relationships.
Dad, daughter, mother, son.
So if you came out of a blended family, there's at least 10 people that just got married. Wow. So again,
I'm frightened. If I weren't married, I wouldn't get married.
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't get married.
Oh,
no,
listen.
Yeah.
I'm frightened.
If you're a woman and you're looking at this guy and he's got lousy relationships with the women in his life, and he's got a temper. Now, temper equals control. I've never heard a woman say to me, oh, Dr. Leman, I just love it when my husband controls me.
Never.
I never heard that yet, never will.
Like that, no.
So you have to go into marriage with your eyes open, but you have to know who you're marrying. Now, I met my wife, I don't make these things up, in the men's restroom of a hospital. I was a janitor, thrown out of college, making $195 a month swabbing floors.
You still know how to do that.
Yeah, still got the move. Yeah,
Still got that.
I do.
So you never forget.
No, and she was a nurse's aide, and I had scoped her out.
But wait, everybody's asking, why was your wife in the men's room?
Because she was helping this little old guy go piddle.
Okay.
So I had put the big barrel in the doorway to let people know, don't come in.
Don't come in here because there's a woman and a man piddling and a janitor.
Yeah, and our eyes met, and I thought, that's her, because I had seen her that day in the hospital. And I went to great lengths. I paid another janitor $5 to introduce me to this woman.
You understand, this is just out of a fairy tale. Every man wants to meet his wife in the men's room with an old guy. That's incredible.
Well,
wait, but how did you know? You said
years.
you saw her and you had this thing. What was it about her that you saw that?
She had something that came out from her personality that was just absolutely special.
While in the bathroom?
First time I saw her in the hallway.
Every time.
Okay.
Here's how a man watches a woman in the hallway. You ready?
Yes.
I mean, she got my attention. I mean,
I love that.
She's a looker.
Are you an actor? I feel like that was like method acting.
But
No,
you
he
guys
meant
are,
that.
You
That was
guys are
real.
New Yorkers.
That was real.
You might appreciate this. The first thing I ever said to my wife was, I said, oh, that's her. I said, would you like to go to the World's Fair with me? Well, this is Tucson, Arizona. Well, the World's Fair, 1964, was in New York City.
In Queens?
Yes.
I was born in Queens.
There you go.
6 months earlier.
So I said, would you like to go to the World's Fair? He says, well, I don't know. I said, how about lunch then? And so I moved quickly. Went to McDonald's, had a 20-cent cheeseburger.
Wait, did they have McDonald's in 1964?
If you can remember the 15-cent burger, you are going to die soon. Because that's a long time ago.
Wow.
But
wow.
I remember the White Castle 12-cent, but not the McDonald's.
Well,
no.
we split at 10 cents. But anyway, long story short, she was a great woman of faith. And if there's one thing I didn't want, was a woman of faith. I mean, I thought those Christian people were weirder than weird.
If she's a woman of faith, why is she hanging out with you?
Well, I was a punk. I smoked my Salem cigarettes, had my little greasy hair. I thought I was cool. In retrospect, I was just a jerk, and she was so patient with me. And so, anyway, I could talk about that all day, but...
So you're saying, you should know the person that you want to marry.
Yeah.
For some people who are out there who are young and they're dating right now, and they are still trying to figure that person out, what are some of the things that they should look for?
Yeah,
well,
and how do you
family's
prepare?
number one, what they came of.
Where they came from, their family
but
dynamics.
I wrote the birth order book. Now, Mrs. Uppington
You wrote the birth order book?
Yeah.
Excuse me. You're a legend. Continue.
Well, it's sold. A lot of trees have died
No,
in its honor.
that is
but she's the firstborn, okay? Perfectionistic, likes things just so, artsy, craftsy, a pleaser. Can't we all just get along? Perfect, firstborn. Baby of the family, little brat, always got in trouble, got thrown out of Cub Scouts, thrown out of 4th grade. That's hard to do. Thrown out of college, for stealing a conscience fund. Those are my credentials.
Stealing a conscience fund?
It's a long story, but I got thrown out of school. In the Dean of Students, here's the funny part. I was Dean of Students at the University of Arizona for 10 years. So my life's been sort of different. Wow. But anyway, my point is, you better know what this firstborn is like. You better know what this baby is like. In certain combinations, firstborn and baby is a pretty good match. Firstborn and firstborn, now you got two people who know exactly how life ought to be.
Okay, is there a book, you've written 47 books, I checked.
Right.
47.
And of all those books,
two of them are good.
Two of them are good? Okay. If what you're talking about right now, trying to scope out, is this person someone I should marry, which book deals with that? Because that's what we want to give to our viewers.
Have a New Husband by Friday is solid gold.
Have a new, what if you're already married?
Think of your husband as a 4-year-old that shaves, okay? He is the simple one. You're the complex one. Okay. He doesn't use the words that you do, okay? He does things differently. He spits. And then Sheet Music is probably the best book I ever did. Sheet Music? Sheet Music.
And you're not talking, you're talking about bed sheets.
It's a sex book for couples.
It's a sex book?
For couples. Unique idea.
But should people who are about to get married?
For people who are married to each other.
Couples.
Unique idea.
So are these two good books for people who are about to get married?
Or married.
Or married, even in just...
Written in a way, so the first 4 chapters of one of the books is really geared toward when you're going to get married. The other is after you said those I do's and you found out that this woman who you worshipped has morning breath that could kill a cockroach at 4.5 feet.
Wait a minute, how do you know that? Never mind, go ahead.
How do I know that?
So
very
knowing the family.
Very
so what's the second tip that someone can walk away with when they're about to get married? Oh, you guys are just...
What was that question? Say that again. I'm sorry.
You weren't listening. Okay.
Oh, see?
Anyway.
See?
That's why I got thrown out of 4th grade.
I'm here all week, people. I'm here all week.
Wow.
Cut me some slack.
No.
Okay.
I'm old.
No, you're pretty sharp for an older person. Second thing that someone can walk away with, a tool, if someone is about to get married. You said knowing the family that they come from.
You have to get behind your wife's eyes or your husband's eyes and see how they see life. My wife is a 5-forker. She loves restaurants with 5 forks. I'm a 1-forker. Plastic is fine, no problem. Okay. But you know what I've learned about my wife? She likes to be alone. Books are some of her best friends. I tell the story of taking to a 4-forker, which is a nice restaurant, driving home. We live in Tucson, Arizona, pulling into a beautiful resort. And she says, what are we doing here? What are we doing? I said, we're going in the hotel. This is a quote. This is a quote. I don't know what you got in your mind, but I am not getting out of this car. I would call that a non-cooperative spirit. Yeah. Long story short, I take her up to the room.
That's what that is.
I take her up to the room, and I pull back the sheets on the king-size bed. I order room service for her. 2 books are there. Sweetheart roses are there for her. And I kiss her goodnight, and I leave. I go home, and I missed her mom. I tell her I'll be back at 1 o'clock. How do you stay married 46 years? By understanding your wife wants to be in a resort hotel in a king-size bed alone.
I love that.
Without, see?
That's nice.
And my wife loves, most women love to be held, not Mrs. Uppington. To quote her, scratch me. She loves to be scratched. Well, she really, like this, S-shaped on her back. I mean, you gotta know this woman.
Unfortunately,
this is a family show. We cannot.
This was so good.
Listen, highest compliment is that we want to have you back as soon as you can get back, because there's a lot of gold. We got to talk to you, and there's too much. So we're gonna have you back. So don't move. Thank you for being with us. Go to our website. We've got lots of resources. Our e-store has books by Dr. Leman. We'll be right back.